I Got the Hell Out does contain explicit content that might not be suitable for some listeners, such as children, those that easily get offended, and we do recommend that listeners at work put your earbuds in if you have coworkers around.
And if you like the show, please spread the word by telling as many people as you can. Would also appreciate if you would subscribe, rate, hopefully with 5 stars, and review the podcast on iTunes. You can find us there as well as on Stitcher and Overcast. You can follow us on Twitter at WasInACult, on Facebook at I Got the Hell Out, and on Instagram at I Got the Hell Out with an underscore after each word. You can contact us through our website at IGotTheHellOut.com.
Hi guys, it's Deb.
And Laura on a Friday.
And we're gonna be drinking. And welcome to I Got the Hell Out. And you know what? I forgot to undo my zipper.
What zipper? Oh my God, you have a whole cooler of beer.
It's a 6-pack, Laura.
It's still got a whole supply there.
Well, I'm not drinking the whole 6-pack here. I got one place else to stop on the way home, and even then it won't all be drank, okay?
Okay, you're just being prepared.
Yes, I was a Girl Scout.
Well, you got the beer badge?
I wish there was a beer
Could you
badge.
imagine?
I don't think it would be appropriate for little kids. There's the sound.
There you go. That's the Friday sound.
Again, we haven't done a drinking episode in a long time, guys. And in all actuality, it's Friday night, and their page. We talked about last week's sermon that they gave with little man and the waving branches, and I put sunglasses on him. Did you see that?
I did see that. Yes.
An ex-member thought that those were actually his sunglasses.
No.
And she's like, "Oh, what a shame! The whole congregation is going to be buying them from them now."
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. Yeah, their blog is like bare minimum, nothing. They're kind of weird.
Their non-official page, there was only a handful of stuff put on, and it was all by like 2 people in different countries.
Wow.
I don't think there was really anything of relevance. I'll have to look when we get the screenshots and go, oh, look, there is something of relevance. Mm-hmm. And their actual official page, I don't see how they have thousands of people watch their sermon, but only like 598 people have been to their page, have checked in. How does that work?
I don't know.
Okay.
This is just really weird because, for the longest time, we had all of this material.
We had amusing things that they...
Yeah.
are they listening to us and going, maybe we're making ourselves look like fools?
I don't think so. I don't think they would care.
Or are they trying to scramble and figure out what happens when little man kicks the bucket?
They're preoccupied with something. Don't you think?
They have to be.
I don't know what, but it's something.
And it is so quiet because... I talk to a lot of ex-members every week. Hi, guys. Love y'all. A lot of them reach out to me. Sometimes I reach out to them. A lot of them remain anonymous with the information that I give on here because they still have family members in. And they don't want their family members punished, ostracized. They don't want... their family members to cut contact with them because they were the leak, okay?
Gotcha, yeah.
And it's strangely quiet all the way around. Nobody's hearing much of anything. And for all of us, that's scary because you had Sam. When she was a toddler and making noise, everything was fine, wasn't it?
When the kids are quiet, something's going on.
When your toddler's a little too quiet for a little too long, they're up
to something.
Doing something that's pretty shifty and shady. Sketchy at the best, okay? Yep. And that's what is, when people are trying to be inconspicuous, they make themselves more conspicuous by trying to be inconspicuous. Yep. And I think it's hysterical because I can walk down the street and I can see somebody who is paranoid and looking around. I don't know if they're carrying drugs, if they have a mental issue, but they stick out because they're constantly because most normal people aren't looking to see if someone's following them.
Right.
So if you're constantly looking to see if somebody's following you, chances are there's probably somebody following you for a pretty sketchy reason. Especially people that are wanted by the police or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so when things get quiet, things get scary. Do you have any thoughts on this?
Has anybody, like in your groups, like the ex-member groups, have they said anything about this to you?
Oh, they are extremely concerned about what might be being planned or
Like
what.
what are some of the things they're saying?
Just Jim Jones, Heaven's Gate. There's a few other ones that are more obscure, but maybe the when he leaves, when he dies,
Mm-hmm.
maybe they're all planning on following
Going with
him.
them.
Going with him. I don't know.
So maybe since he's like, because he looks like 1 foot in the grave. So
We're gonna get to that because
Okay.
he's apparently been taken off stage a few times. I'll have to read the screenshots
Okay.
that were sent to me that people described what happened.
Oh wow.
So we forgot to get to the Kool-Aid recipe.
Do we have one?
Well, see, that's funny because I got here and I says, I've had a lot to do this week, and this show was written out on the lake. I showed you the picture.
By Drunk Deb?
Oh
Sober
God, you
Deb?
can't drink out on the lake. It's a state park.
Like that means anything to you?
I don't break the law, Laura.
Oh, okay.
Oh, look at you roll your eyes at me.
Look at you laughing.
Shush. Shh. Anyway, no, I took the dog out and we actually had dinner out there. And my plan was to sit at this picnic table at the Secret Dock and write the show. I get service out there, so why not? Go through pending posts, go through screenshots, go through their page and find absolutely jack shit. I mean, they had nothing other than actual Bible scriptures. They had over and over again, be at peace or be in unity with your brothers and sisters at Little Man's Culty Land, the town they're in.
Yeah. I'm just thinking of like, what could that mean? Is there some double meaning?
It was over and
it?
over and over again. And there were two that they took passages out of one of his books. And I didn't feel like reading those. And they weren't really worth a whole lot. And most of it was just packed with Bible verses. And little man throwing his little 2 cents worth in.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Shut up. That was my first beer. Come on. Oh, anyway, the Kool-Aid recipe. It's Friday night. There's no kids in the house, so there's no Kool-Aid. So we just decided on wine and beer. Cheers. To everybody out there, Laura's got her glass of wine.
Don't clink it.
No, we're not clinking. Oh, yeah, we did the air clink.
Yeah, we did the air.
Because we blow people's ears out. See, we learn.
Only how many episodes?
Do you realize we've been doing this for over 2.5 years? We're almost at our third year mark.
I know, that's crazy.
It happened like October 31st. The idea came about.
That's true. Yeah, that's right. That's right. And it was like right before Christmas or right after Christmas. It was like right around that time.
It was right. Our first. It doesn't matter. We'll discuss it then. Okay. Yeah. Beer and wine night or whatever you're into. Kids are gone. Okay. Okay. Where are we going? What did you find on their blog?
Absolutely nothing.
Again, nothing.
I'm telling you, it's like you said, there's just like a few Bible verses, like here and there, and that is it.
Creepy.
I don't even think they had the lottery numbers.
No, they haven't had bread sacks. They haven't had. This week they had no actual pictures of people standing there praying. They use a couple of photos regularly. I guess they're approved. Those people, her and her children must still be in. I don't know. But it's the same pictures.
Like stock photos.
Like a stock photo.
Yeah.
Like a culty stock photo, okay? And, but they aren't even using the personalized photos anymore. It's just, it's time to pray. It's time to pray. It's time to pray.
Creepy.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is. So we're going to head off to, I think, pending post. How's that?
Sounds good.
Okie doke. Lots of questions this week. Okay, I guess I should get in the right spot, shouldn't I?
That would help, Deb.
Oh my gosh. It's been one of those days. It's been one of those weeks. I'm telling you. Okay, look. There we go. My phone's being testy. Okay, shout out to Kim H.
Mm-hmm.
She lives down in Cali County down there.
Oh, okay.
She sent us her self-addressed stamped envelope.
All right.
I'm mentioning her just because, like, me and her, she's got questions for me all the time. She lives right there. She's told me some things she's seen, and just has general questions about the wackadoodles. Do you know what I mean?
Nice.
Okay, so yeah, hi Kim, you'll be getting your stickers. Anybody else out there who lives around that place, I will send you a handful of stickers, including a bumper sticker. I can't tell you where to put them, except on your own property. But I will send them to you. P.O. Box 284, Oakdale, Pennsylvania, 15071. Okay. Why do I always forget the zip?
I don't know, but it's just so funny. You look at me like you're like, shit.
Well, the last 2 digits are my birthday, so and 150 is anywhere around here.
Right.
I gave Carnegie's zip the one time.
Did you really? I didn't even catch it.
I think you did catch it, and you're like, holy shit, that's not it. Anyway, Kim asks us, when are you going to post, when you all say you're going to post something, where do you post it? I never see new posts on your Facebook page.
Oh, welcome to the club.
Well, Kim, I texted her back and told her, I, like many people, have many ambitions in life. And as we sit here and do this show, and I show you pictures that are worthy to be put on Facebook, as well-meaning as I am most weeks, it just goes right out the window when I walk out your door. But I did good this week. I did put Little Man Bringing in the Planes.
Yep, I saw. Yeah, but you know what,
though? And the Praise and Raisins. I found a new Praise and Raisins shirt. Did you see it?
Yes, I did see that.
When is somebody going to sue him for copyright infringement? Come on now. The member who actually drew that is the bitch I love to hate's husband. He's still a member. Totally suable. Okay, somebody might want to let the raisins know.
That's right.
Okay.
Well, yeah, but the post, too, sometimes it has to do that stupid algorithm thing. Like, you could post it, but it might not show up in someone's feed.
I'd like to give a huge shout out to ex-child member. He was pretty much a young adult when he left. Shamar. Mm-hmm. Hey, dude. He says he wants to help and get our YouTube channel, get some views. He's on a campaign. If this works, you may see a large uptick in your YouTube views and or subscriptions in the next couple of days. Get the word out, guys. The YouTube channel is just our old episodes, just another platform for people who don't use podcasts, or maybe they're into YouTube.
Yeah.
The kids at work are not into Facebook. They don't.
No, it's not.
It's old people,
yeah,
I guess.
Exactly, it is.
Welcome to Old Peopleville. Yeah. Screw me again, right?
Yeah. Thanks, Katie, for subscribing on YouTube.
Anybody else who has subscribed lately, thank you. I'm humbled at how many people are subscribing, even though. Yeah. Thank you, Shamar. Okay. Now, Kim had another question. From close to hell on earth at 100 degrees outside today, another question. Does the House of Yahoo's Cannery package food that's sold at stores outside of the compound, or is it strictly for the members? Same with the butter. Kim, I'm not sure what they do. I'm not there anymore. I've heard from people here and there that they were told to stop carrying meat products. I've heard a lot of things, but I can't really say. You live in that area, figure out where their health food store is, or contact me, and I will tell you where their health food store is, and you can go and peruse the shelves yourself. And you can take a few friends with us.
That would be exciting.
And if you take a video of it, we might even post that on the Facebook page. Because it's public property.
Right.
You have no expectation of privacy when you're in the public. So, Laura, if you were walking over there and I was taking a picture, you can't scream at me, you can't take my picture. Because you're in the public. You could ask me nicely to not take a picture of you, but you... the same with if you're working, you can ask the person nicely to not film you, but... yeah, so I guess I just put a challenge out there, didn't I?
Kinda.
Anybody in Cali? And she also wanted to know what bread sacks are. Okay. Apparently, for everybody who's new and listening or didn't catch on the episode that I talked about bread sacks, they started posting these brown paper bag parts with a Sharpie marker on it with inspirational type sayings about little man and stuff. And most of them are ridiculous. But apparently they always start their own things and claim that they're biblical and you have to follow them, okay? And one of them is a Sabbath bread. So
that's where they got the bread sacks.
Because they now have their own bakery along with all of their other little slave shack type things. I mean, did kind of, because they always made their own unleavened bread you had to buy a pack of unleavened bread.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But now they're making Sabbath bread. And of course, little man gets his own special loaf. And it's delivered in a brown paper bread sack to him every Sabbath morning while it's still nice and toasty, roasty, warm, I guess. Now, how they did work and made bread on the Sabbath.
I thought you weren't allowed to do that.
I don't know the ins and outs.
Although I guess if you're making it for little man, that's a different story, right?
Well, he's basically God.
Right. So if you're making bread for God, you can do that whenever God wants the bread.
Well, I guess
I would assume.
If you're working for God, God tells you, these are the rules for these people. But for me, I want my bread baked right before.
I want it by 7 a.m.
Oh my God, did I just describe our government? Let's move on. Kim, I hope that helps you with the bread sacks. But like with everything else, Laura, they're not doing bread sacks.
They're nothing.
Is there no inspiration to be had for these people? Are they doing them and not posting them because we've been roasting them on them?
I doubt it. They're not even like reusing stuff. You know what I mean? It's not even like you'd think they could at least pull crap from a couple months ago and just reuse it. They're making no effort at all.
God, I don't even really reuse old pictures. Do you know that?
Mm-hmm.
Everything that's on the Facebook page, there's no doubles, triples, and quadruples. Like, if you're going backwards through the photos, you may have hundreds of photos to go through, and some of them don't relate to the actual cult. Mm-hmm. Me wearing a bathing suit for the first time in whenever.
Well, that kind of had something to do with it.
But it wasn't back from when
right.
I was in the cult.
Gotcha.
Other times I post something funny, like I said the one day that I went and got tacos, and I says, hey, if you ever are crumbling apart, just remember people love tacos and they crumble too. And I went out and got tacos, and took a picture of the crumbled up taco. So that's why the taco picture's the taco slop mess. Oh, little hint. Get a soft tortilla taco and put it under the hard tacos you're eating. And when you're done eating hard tacos, you'll have a soft taco made from the remains of the hard tacos that fell into it. Little tip from that state.
That sounds like a big production.
You just get a soft... Anyway. Okay, those are what bread sacks are. Now, we have covered this. This is another ex-child member, Laura H. And she asks, what in the holy hell is this?
The nuclear baby.
Yeah, I'm just going to post this because, I'm sure everybody knows who they are.
Exactly. Just post that.
Because you can do reverse lookups of pictures, and I'm sure people have already done this shit, so I'm not afraid anymore, are you? Oh my God. Yeah,
just post it.
You told me, okay, Laura, you are getting approved on this one. And if any ex-member would like to jump on there and tell her what the hell the nuclear baby is.
Knock yourself out.
It's a scary looking mofo, okay? And where are we going? Now, Jane L., this is kind of long, but I'm going to read it. She posted this April 2nd, and I'm really sorry I didn't get to it till now. We hadn't been back recording long, and we're run out of time, and it's just no excuse. Do you know what I mean? Anybody who feels like giving her advice, hop onto the Facebook page, because as we are recording, I approve these posts because I won't remember to do it when we're done. That's why we do it in this order, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay. Jane L. writes in and says, my loved one is struggling with feeling that she is being attacked by her former cult leader. The group was abusive in all ways. The spiritual psychic attack is the most constant. It is the worst at night. Can psychotropic drugs help? Has EMDR helped people who have tactile and auditory sensations after leaving the cult? Is there something we can do to relieve these feelings of attack? Please share your experiences in the comments. My loved one has only been out 7 months and is still healing.
Oh, jeez.
Laura, I am leaving this question completely to you.
That's like some major PTSD.
Because they asked about did I say that?
Psychotropic.
Did I say it right?
Psychotropic drugs.
I think I said it right. I don't know. Anyway, I'm improving this for anybody who wants to give advice. But Laura, as a pharmacist, what do you recommend?
Really? Therapy.
Yes. What kind?
Like therapy where you talk to somebody.
But a psychologist, counselor, a psychiatrist.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's like any kind of psychologist.
Do you try and find somebody who specializes in cult survivors?
Well, that I would start with somebody that specializes in PTSD.
Okay.
That's what I would start with. And just like any other kind of therapy that you could go to for depression, for whatever, the first person you go to, you might not click with. It's sometimes, unfortunately, it takes a while till you find somebody that you click with.
I had that with my children, getting them someone to talk to. Leaving a cult situation, and now they're living a real life did a mind fuck on them.
Oh, I can imagine.
But yeah, the first few therapists didn't work. So now keep talking.
Right, and it has
we had to find one that worked with us.
Right. You just have to find one that you click together. And now that's like nowadays, like psychologists work with the psychiatrists. The psychiatrists are the one that can prescribe the drugs.
That's the only difference, right?
Well, yeah, the psychiatrist is actually a medical doctor. They've gone to medical school.
So they could revive you if you're having like a stroke or a heart attack and stuff?
Well, I'm sure. I think a therapist could do that as well.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, no, but once you're speaking with a therapist or a psychologist, if they feel that you need some type of drugs, then you would have an appointment with a psychiatrist.
Or they could give you to recommend somebody who might be able to help you better.
Absolutely. Because if you find a therapist that you're talking to, and all of a sudden they're just like, well, this, might not be my expertise. Like I thought it was going to be. But like the deeper we're getting into the situation,
they
it's just like
somebody else can help you better than me.
Yes. If it is a good therapist, they will tell you, you know what, I think that so-and-so or whatever is going to help you a little bit more. They're more experienced in whatever the thing may be, and they will guide you because they're what they want to do is help you, whether it's them actually doing it or them guiding you to somebody.
That's a good therapist.
Who can do it. That's a good therapist, right?
And this advice is for anybody who's getting out of an abusive relationship. Anything. I mean, sometimes you can get PTSD from a lot of freaking things.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Okay, I hope that helps you, sweetheart. I hope
oh my gosh,
somebody...
good luck. Keep us posted.
Keep us posted on it.
Please.
Colette W says she's a mail carrier, and she was listening to episode 75 when we talked about my mom having a tattoo in the story. She was laughing so hard that she had to pull over. We don't have to post this. She just wanted to know that we make her laugh so hard she cries. Hi, Colette. Okay. I think that's pretty much all I have in pending posts here.
Okay. Got some screenshots?
Well, yeah. I do want to throw out there to all of the people who live in Cali and ex-members. Does anybody remember the booth we had at the county fair?
Didn't you say that's the one like you passed out Bibles or something?
No, we raffled off a chance for you to win one.
That's right. I knew it had something to do with a Bible. Okay.
We did have free booklets that you could take with you.
So, but people actually bought tickets to win a Bible?
They didn't buy them. It was a free raffle.
Oh, good Lord. Okay.
Can you imagine walking through all of these booths and you see the local nutty religious cult? And
even if it's free, who the heck would do that?
That's what I was thinking. And I was hoping somebody had a picture of one of the booths that we worked, whether I was in it or not.
I just want to know how many people put their names in for that raffle.
Hundreds.
Why?
I don't know.
Oh my God.
People would come up and argue religion with us.
Oh, that could be fun.
I worked the booth, and like it was my early 20s. I was sober. Hell yeah, bring it on.
Oh, you gotta have some good stories about that.
Well, it was kind of weird because when I need to, I can pull the information out of my head. Just like when Laura loses a bet, that episode. Loses the bet.
Mm-hmm.
And you asked me what number law it was, and I spit it out. Or whatever it was. But when you were only, excuse me, you were only allowed to work the booth once during the fair. And
why?
Because you got into the fair for free. You didn't have to pay.
Oh, okay.
The people who were working the fair were given tickets.
Okay.
To get in because you're working the booth.
Gotcha.
Now, on your breaks, you could walk around. I didn't shut the door.
You didn't shut the door.
So say something for a minute.
Say something.
Say something for a minute.
Well, apparently someone's walking by the house. That's why he's barking.
We're so professional at this.
That's because we've been drinking. Blame it on the alcohol.
It could be because you had a glass beforehand and I had a can beforehand. See? So
that's what we'll blame it on. Wink, wink. Right?
It was the alcohol. We didn't. And
had nothing to do with us being clueless.
And shutting the door is usually my job.
Well, see, I'm gonna blame it all on you.
Throw me under the bus this time.
Damn right. You throw me under the bus every damn week.
I know. I love it.
All right. So back to this booth.
Anyway, people would come up and we had 4 or 5 scripture books that people could look through. We could point shit out. Because, I mean, you have to remember, we're in the Bible Belt in the South with Southern Baptists coming up and wanting to spar Bible verses with you. It was the craziest thing, Laura. Because people would walk up to me and they would dispute something or tell me something, and I could throw Bible verses right back at them. Could I do that today?
I would love to see that.
Probably not. But it was crazy. And I was told that it's because God was in my mind and giving me the answers.
Ah. Okay.
Couldn't have been that I'm intelligent and I actually learned this stuff and could regurgitate it when needed. Just like whatever law you were telling me. If you can tell me this law.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so I would love to have a picture of us at and see they had a
What are you looking at?
I was looking at the timer because we have looked at it before and it was stopped and went, oh shit. And it wasn't stopped, but it looked
because the way you were looking, I was like, oh God, I don't even want to look at the computer. What's going on? Okay.
The raffle. You get a brand new Book of God. One of ours.
Fantastic.
I honestly want to know if anybody out there actually got a free copy.
I was just going to say, I'm surprised they would actually give away a Bible.
I don't think they did.
They probably didn't. There's no way they would do that.
There was no winner. But do you know why they had people sign up for this free Bible?
So they could send them crap.
They're on the mailing list. They can be counted as a member. It makes their numbers greater.
Oh my gosh.
So any of you out there in Cali who still receive propaganda from this place, probably in somebody else's name or a dead relative's name, they signed up for a free Bible at the county fair at one point from the cult.
I just can't imagine people signing up for that.
Why not?
But why? No, why is the question.
I mean, if the Koresh people had a booth at the local fair, would you not like, and you know things are going to end badly, maybe someday, wouldn't you like to have a piece of their paraphernalia that you could like auction off or something?
No.
Okay, maybe some people are morbid.
Okay, I can see that.
Maybe somebody just wants the right to say, look, I won one of their stupid Bibles. I don't know. Okay?
Oh my God, we need to get a picture of that, definitely.
Of
I hope someone has one.
I don't ever remember pictures being taken when I was there. The sad thing is when a lot of members leave, they have a burn party. And they burn everything. They burn all the literature. They burn the holy garments. They burn the calendars.
Everything that reminds them.
Yes.
Of the cult. Yeah.
I've had friends tell me that they regretted it since. but they burned most of their pictures, like people that they knew that were there. The only pictures they really kept were maybe the ones that had their children or their significant other or their sister or like really good friends. Not just some of my pictures, you've looked at them and it's just random stuff around the campground. And they just burned everything. I'm a pack rat. You don't know that, right?
I've heard.
Really? Have you heard things?
I've heard things.
Did you watch the live episode of 107 on Facebook?
I was at work when it was live.
But did you watch it?
I watched some of it, though. I did.
At the very end, you should watch.
You have a tour. You like a
little tour of my house.
Yep.
Well, the downstairs of my house, at least. Does it look a little packed?
A little bit.
And my mother today, when I stopped by to give her 20 pounds of pepperoni.
Wait, what?
Huh?
Why would you have 20 pounds of pepperoni?
Because
Where the hell did you get 20 pounds of pepperoni?
Shh! Don't ask questions.
What? There's a secret pepperoni place?
No. A lot of times my boss either gets something they give her the wrong thing or something. Like elbow noodles. There's different sizes to elbow noodles. Do you know that?
Nope.
There's different sizes and like sometimes she gets shipped the wrong thing.
Okay.
And instead of throwing it away, she'll ask people if they want it. One time we got 6 gallons of applesauce. They were all in gallon-sized containers. Of course, nobody wanted to take home a gallon of applesauce. What are you going to do with it? Eat it once or twice and throw the rest of it away. So my mom does a lot of donating to Light of Life Ministries here. And so she took the applesauce down to them. She takes the noodles, whatever my boss is giving away or nobody wants.
Right.
Kudos, shout out to you, KB and Tom. But yeah, there was a 20-pound bag of pepperoni.
Oh, that she's going to give to.
Yeah. The food,
that's awesome.
Well, they shipped us the wrong stuff, and they're tiny. They're like the size of a nickel, maybe a little bigger, and they burn in our oven, so we can't use them.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
And when you said 20 pounds of pepperoni, I'm sorry. That's all I heard.
It was a bag this big by this big. Like, everybody out there knows what I'm talking about. It took up almost a whole shelf in my mom's refrigerator.
Damn.
So, she had eye surgery today. Shout out to you, Mom. Eat more than Tylenol, for crying out loud.
Why'd she have surgery?
Something to do with her eyeballs. I don't know.
Well, no shit if it's her eye. You think?
I asked you about leg cancer earlier. The headline on our local thing was something about something and leg cancer. I'm like, Laura, what the hell is leg cancer? Is that like finger cancer? You explained it to me. It was bad editing.
Someone just decided to write whatever.
It was bad editing. And last week, the only culty correction I have is my son's best friend, Levi. I said he was in the armed forces. I still have to get permission from him or his mom to put the picture. Probably him because he's 20-something. He's in the Navy. Okay. Levi joined the Navy. Gotcha. But there's a lot of kids that have left that place. And whether it's they didn't have structure, the right kind of structure, maybe they don't have any support outside when they left. But a lot of them joined the military. So that's their choice. Everybody has choices. And some of the choices are really not good. And some of them are good. So you're just looking at me.
Yeah, I'm just listening. Deb.
You're drunk, aren't you?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
No, I'm dying from heat up here.
I know. It's probably making you sleepy, not me. And guys, I apologize to, well, not you guys, but my YouTube, I can't get any more loaded. It keeps giving me this error message and it's messed up. So I have been frantically trying to find some other way to do it, and it's just, I'm figuring it out. But hey, I got 24 on there.
I am so impressed.
Okay. You know
time for another beer.
I was going to let them guess. Guess what it's time for. Look, you kill secrets. Ready?
There you go.
It's been so long since we've had beer on this show.
Know.
How long?
I know. Just don't spill it like every other time.
I didn't spill it the other time.
No, you kick it over.
Well, no, I stick it over there on the table.
And then you do something with it. It's always all over my carpet.
Okay, that's twice you've thrown me under the bus.
Hey, I'm getting back at you for all the times you do that to me.
Okay, then.
See?
There's a special message going out to anybody who listens to me who is still in the cult. I know there's quite a few of you. I'll never know how many. I told y'all last week, if it's that bad, you can't take shit with you. How to get the hell out. You know?
Ambulance?
The ambulance.
Okay.
Go to the hospital that Jimi Hendrix would prefer to go to, not the other one. But a lot of people want all y'all to know that your family still loves you. And a lot of them didn't want me to call you out by name for reasons, and I totally understand that. But the one person that I need to call out by name, I don't know if they listen or not. Any of y'all that are breaking the rules and listen to me, y'all know who Christy is. You know who Christy is. Tell her family desperately loves her and would take her back in a heartbeat. They would be there in a minute. I guess I'm done on that rant.
Hopefully the message gets to the right people.
Anybody out there that's a runaway, I'm sure your family loves you. Maybe it wasn't the best situation. Maybe you shouldn't go back. I don't know. But, yeah, people of the cult, if you're listening, I'm pretty sure most of your family would take you back. What is your thought, Laura?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I obviously...
Would you take Sammy back 30 years later?
Hell yeah.
If she called you up.
Hell yeah.
It's been 30 years, and she called you up, and she's sniffling and going, Mom...
She wouldn't even get the sentence out.
Can you send me a bus ticket?
She wouldn't even get the whole sentence out. Absolutely.
Would you go pick her up yourself, or would you send her a bus ticket?
I would go pick her up myself.
But that would mean she's sitting there longer.
I would think it would make it her choice. What would you... Gotcha. I would say, what would you prefer I do? Because you don't know what would work best in that scenario. You know what I mean? I would be like, what's going to work best for you?
And I was also told cult members that are still there, even if you don't have family, you know a hell of a lot of us left earlier than you did. And I know dozens of ex-members that are willing to take you in that might have been your friend at one time. And they're still your friend. They don't hate you. There's a lot of us out there that are trying to change things right now, to bring some things to light. Kudos to you, to Ariel and to Melody. They are out there doing Facebook Live. They're interviewing ex-members. People are watching. Maybe something will be done. But then again, what's that documentary, Wild Country?
Wait, I don't know what you're talking about.
It's about a cult that moved into like Nevada or somewhere, and they had like 100,000 people, 10,000.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, God. It was some other cult that they got really big. They outnumbered everybody in the town. They were that big. They all wore orange and were jumping around and singing. It's a documentary.
Okay.
Like, everybody out there right now is screaming the name of the documentary.
Absolutely.
But, yeah, they...
Did you forget what you were going to say?
Yeah, I did.
I knew that look that you were just like, oh, shit.
The oh, shit look.
Mm-hmm.
I know where I was going, but it's very real, guys, that they are trying to become their own city out there. And you can legally do that. Do you know that, Laura?
That's what you've said.
If
that
you
is
own enough
really
land,
scary.
If you own enough land, and there are, depending on what state, laws differ everywhere.
Right.
If you have enough land and enough people living in that area, you can make your own town.
That's scary.
Ain't that crazy?
That is really scary.
I think it's kind of nifty that they were smart enough to figure it out. Oh, by the way, Callie, that's why they have that welcome sign and welcome to Little Man Town. Oh, and I found pictures of Little Man with a hammer in his hand looking like he's hammering the sign up.
Or the timeline.
No, I'll put it up, the sign and the timeline.
Okay.
Okay, wait a minute. I gotta write this down. The sign and the timeline.
And little man with the hammer.
He has his little hammer. It looks like he's hammering up his little "This is my town"
Oh
billboard. Are you don't even have any more wine, do you?
No, I do. I have a little bit left. And I have a bunch down in the fridge.
Well, that ain't helping us now.
It sure is not.
It's not helping us now. Okay. Now, let's go here, okay?
Mm-hmm. Did you lose it?
No, I got to where I'm going.
Okay.
Do you know what today is?
Nope.
Today is the feast of Saint Maximilian Kolbe, who is the patron saint of drug addicts.
Aw.
I had no idea there was a patron saint of drug addicts. Did you?
No, I did not.
I'm telling you, there is a patron saint to pray to
for everything.
There's
one for pierogies.
There's one for hangovers. A saint. Do you think that saint drank a lot and got a lot of hangovers? And
oh, I'm sure.
Do you think it's their punishment to be the eternal patron saint of hangovers?
Or I think they're like, okay, who should we pick to be the patron saint? I know.
Now, Laura, if you have a hangover and you pray to this patron saint, does he take your hangover over?
Maybe.
And that's his punishment?
Or maybe he just like zaps it away.
Well, where would it go?
Out to the ether. I don't know.
Okay.
Like, I know this.
You should know shit, Laura. You should really know shit. And according to Betty, ex-member, today's lunar date is the first day of the 4th lunar week and the 22nd day of the 5th lunar month. Praise God. Today's not even the 22nd, is it?
Good Lord, no. It's the 14th.
And it's not it's not Sunday. And it's not the...
Someone messed up.
No, she does this every day.
Oh, well then, okay.
And usually when I'm working on the show, I'll just screenshot and tell you what day it is in case you're keeping track of this mentally.
Oh, because you know so many people are.
I just think it's funny. What do you want me to tell you? Okay. Oh, my son wanted to let everybody know something. Prison inmates are doing a better job at punishing pedophiles than our own government. Let that sink in. That was my son's quote for today. We're not going to get into that.
Put the pedophile and Jen Pop in. There you go.
Yeah. So, that was my son's contribution. This is his friend's contribution. Free all the women in prison who murdered their rapist.
Don't get me started
and you can also add abuser. You can add a lot to that. We're not going.
We'll change that topic.
They're just things said. Now, this is the most controversial thing that they put on their Facebook page.
Oh, okay.
Little Man Says program about shit blowing up. That's a nuclear explosion.
Good
the world
Lord.
Split in half like a marble.
Gotcha.
Do you see the bad graphics?
Yeah.
He had Little Man Says. It's like Simon Says. How many programs does he have? The solution that's peaceful. It's a program for your character education. Did you know that?
Geez.
It teaches you not to steal, not to lie, not to do a bunch of shit. Okay. Now, did I ask this last week? How does someone convert to become a follower of God?
I don't think so.
Okay, this was on their page that's not official.
Okay.
Jamal Knight. Run from these people.
What?
This guy's name is Jamal.
Jamal
Knight.
Okay.
He says, "Hello, I have a question. How does someone convert to become a follower of God? I'm sorry if my question comes off ignorant. I'm honestly trying to get an understanding." Okay? They answered him back and said, "Follow the House of Yahoos. You need a book of Yahoo's study guide. Contact the House of Yahoos direct. Dear friend, don't fear to ask any questions. Believe in God, Jesus, Messiah, and the last day's witness, little man. Follow the 613 laws of God and you will learn more as time goes on. Avoid pagan titles.
Man, they're trying to reel him in.
Well, this is somebody who's answering him on the unofficial page. And someone else, very deluded man named Rob, said to contact the House of Yahoos and start receiving the mailed literature, booklets, etc. And watch the weekly Sabbath. And you'd be ready to, like, claw your ears off.
Oh, my God.
Okay. Do you know what I got a copy of this week?
Oh, you showed me.
It's an excommunication letter.
For who?
Melody.
Okay.
I think I did mention this a while back, and I may have read it, but I don't remember, and it popped up again in shit. But the reason I'm bringing this up is because of the comments that people made on this.
Okay? Oh, okay.
But I'm going to read it. And what's sad is there was a man there named Charles. Charles has since passed away. He was the goofiest, nicest, funniest dude, and he was married to one of Little Man's daughters who goes by the initials of Dee Dee.
Okay.
Charles was, I don't know what he was like to be married to or whatnot, but as a person, I really like Charles. Okay?
Okay.
Charles was given the task of giving out the excommunication letters. Can you imagine what a task that would be?
Oh, man.
Especially if you're friends with somebody. Do you know what Melody got banned for?
What?
Speaking out on polygamy. Because she left as it was...
How dare she?
She left as the polygamy was starting. And she was speaking out against it.
How dare she do that?
She's a woman. They didn't give her the judgy power yet.
Oh,
that was years later.
Gotcha.
Okay, now, he gave this letter to her. See, I was there, 1994. Me, like I said, I may have seen her in passing and stuff, but I was so new, you don't really get to know everybody who's living in the area. And the people who are on their way out mentally, avoid the new people. You don't want to make friends. You don't want to rip off more Band-Aids.
Because you're on the way out.
You're on the way out. Yeah. You don't want to make a friend to say, sorry, see you, hate to be ya.
Right. Like a month later, like, I'm out of there.
Right. And you also don't want somebody to accuse you of shit, because if they know you're on your way out and they're a new member, they'll turn you in.
Oh, yeah.
Brown nosing at its finest. Okay. Charles delivered this to her on 7/1 of 94. So that's what, July 1st? It says, this letter is to notify you you have been excommunicated from the House of Yahoos effective July 1st, 1994. You are hereby excommunicated and expelled from the House of Yahoos on the grounds that you have taken a stand against and or are teaching contrary to the established doctrines of the House of Yahoos and every word of God as taught by the anointed overseer and the body of elders of the House of Yahoos. And yes, that was one.
Take one breath.
Oh my God. Sentence.
So they don't come right out and say polygamy.
Well, she was asked in the thread. It just says you're against the teachings, or you're teaching contrary, or you're speaking bad.
Like, what's specific?
Somebody asked her specifically.
Gotcha.
It goes on to say, you are therefore barred and prohibited from entering onto and all property owned, rented, leased, or otherwise controlled by the House of Yahoos. Only a letter of reinstatement signed by the overseer of the House of Yahoos, which may be imposed upon your bringing forth fruits of righteous repentance, will be able to supersede this letter of expulsion. Now, what do you think fruits of righteous repentance are, Laura?
Money.
Bada bing, chada ching. Okay, however, this last paragraph kills me every time I read it, okay? However, we highly recommend that you find and join a church. It is evident from your rejection of the sound doctrine of the House of Yahoos that a church would better suit your personality and satisfy your whims.
Your whims?
Whims!
Well.
She has whims.
Whims, okay.
I'm surprised they didn't put the word follies in there or something. But the interesting thing about this, okay, let me get back. Some of the comments on it, okay. I was noticing that certain people would add the title elder to their signature. There's no little man signature on that.
Oh, that's interesting.
Little man never, they started comparing. The people that actually had an excommunication letter and still had it in their hands,
Mm-hmm.
little man's name isn't on it anywhere.
That is interesting.
Um,
So who was like the big name on there?
Oh, okay. Let's see. Elder Shaul, who died a couple weeks ago from eating the shit. Okay, well, let me find it. Brandon, love you, Brandon. Out of everybody who signed on there, only 4 are still there. 1 is in prison. That's pedophile elder that we've discussed.
Right.
And 2 of them are dead.
Wow.
I can't name the names on here other than Shaul because I don't know who else died. I don't know the 4 are there, but there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Apparently it only takes 12 signatures to get you kicked out. Where's the 13th? Wouldn't you think they'd make it 13?
So are these 12 people like on equal standing?
They're all elders.
But they're like, there's not, you know how like sometimes there's always like one signature that's like higher above
that would have been
else?
little man's.
So these people were all on the same level?
Sort of, yes.
Okay.
Sort of, yes. Let's see. Okay, that's about all I have to say on that. Do you have any questions?
No, did she post it? Was it like the anniversary of her excommunication, or did she just post it because she found it? Did she say?
I don't remember. She's given it to me before.
Oh, okay.
And it just came up that people started noticing that little man never signed that.
That is really interesting.
And you have to get a letter of reinstatement from him. So if little man dies, you will never be allowed back in the cult. Because that's the only thing that'll let you in.
Well, that's like really weird that like he's not the one that kicks you out, but he'll let you back in.
Exactly.
Right,
Nothing out there makes sense.
No. He's looking at your bank account. Yeah, we'll bring you back in.
My one friend, I can't mention who they are. They actually went back for a bit and they were willing to take them back. They went back for reasons and I can't, what is the word I'm looking for? I can't be mad at them for going back. Mm-hmm. They went back for their own reasons. We all have our own reasons for doing things. But they actually had to fill out paperwork from the time they left till the time they're wanting to come back. How much money did you make?
Oh, interesting.
Other assorted things. And they were expected to pay all of the back tithe. And of course it was a third tithe year, I guess.
Of course it was.
And there was penalties for being gone from God's house.
Absolutely. God has penalties.
God has an office building for us to work in when we're dead, okay?
There's penalties.
And, you know, God's secretary probably has it really good, and she's never going to be replaced because she's already dead and got that office.
She got that corner office.
She got the corner office with the good air conditioning,
right.
Okay? Right next to the coffee machine in the bathroom. And I've never worked in an office, but I always figured that would be the good office to have. Am I right?
The office by the coffee machine?
Coffee machine and bathroom. And have the good air conditioning.
Those are all good things.
Okay. Moving on. Somebody had asked me if they asked us to register to vote.
Oh, that's a good question.
Okay. Now, we've talked about Elder Stubby and him going to sheriff's school and all. Okay. But there's certain things around there that need voted on. And I and several other members remember coming over the pulpit that you can register a legal address in that town.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can have an address in two different places because
Right.
you spend half your year here, half your year there,
Right.
right? But they were at one point asking people to register to vote for something that was coming up, and I don't remember what it is. Elder Peter, this comes from Elder Peter. He was answering somebody about this. He said, a few years ago, Little Man gave them permission to vote. He had the out of town members register in Cali. Not sure how to find out how many are registered, but I was told they helped get a few officials elected in Cali since then.
Whoa.
And this is coming from a high ranking person up there. What do you think about that?
That's pretty special.
Again, how many addresses do they have? How many people can they fill at those addresses that are legal voters? Come on now.
Damn.
Who knows? Moving on. This is an ex-child member. This is just a part of a snippet of something that I came across and I thought y'all might find interesting. She tried to watch the video I mentioned last week about Little Man waving to branches and all that good shit.
Yeah, like the skeletal Little Man.
Yeah. Hey, Tash. Love ya. She says, I watched a very little of it. I can't believe how much weight he's lost and all of that pausing, like him losing his breath or something, not like allowing them to see real doctors, and that's why so many of them have died of cancer or something else. How would he know the mark of the beast is part of the coronavirus? He swears up and down that he can talk to God or Jesus, and they answer back to him. He's a talking to Jesus and God now. What do you think about that?
I'm thinking he's delusional.
Come on now.
Maybe he has like a really high fever. You know how you have a high fever, you get delusional?
Maybe he's dreaming. Maybe they're feeding him psychedelics. I told somebody on one of the ex-members pages, the ones they were where Melody got the excommunication letter. I seriously feel cheated out of the full cult experience. I did not get an excommunication letter. I did not get demons trying to be, gotten out of me. And I was not fed illegal psychedelic drugs. I was not given the full package. Where do I get my money back? Where do I get my money back? Okay. We're in screenshots, so we're all over the place at this point, right? Somebody named AD with a last name of FPAS. I have no idea. I guess I have no idea who that is.
Whatever.
Asked to get in the Facebook group, okay? We always ask a question. Mm-hmm. How did you find us, right? They answered, Apple Podcast suggested it when I was listening to the new Leah Remini podcast.
Get out.
We are linked with Leah Remini at this point.
Well,
How
I'll be damned.
Freaking awesome is that shit? Apple recommended us. Ooh, I just hit my chest. How do you think that sounded?
People are cursing you right now.
Like the gorilla at the zoo. Okay. Alcohol does wonders, doesn't it?
Okay. That is really cool.
Moving on to a Nancy K who lives in Cali. Mm-hmm. I think I worked for her at one point. Okay.
Oh, wow. Okay.
She wanted to thank me for speaking up and out. And she says, I did work with about 13 at one job. Okay, that makes me think I worked with her. Because I worked telemarketing for like a year.
Yeah, you said that. Yeah.
It was the worst job I ever had. And I really wanted a drug test. And I was all up for this drug test because I could pass a drug test. And like after 6 months, I asked my supervisor, I'm like, where's my drug test? And he laughed and he's like, oh, we don't, drug test the yahoos. We know you all pass. And I'm like, I was so disappointed. You have no idea. Anyway, she says, I did work with about 13 of them at one job. I subbed in HR and was told hire every one of them that come through the door. That was the late 90s. I worked for Cytel in the late 90s. Okay. I had worked with a couple of them back in the 80s, my first job. I was like a deer in the headlight back then. I was 18, never really knew their beliefs. Some tried to persuade me to visit their day of worship, but I always refused. Smart
Yep.
girl.
Smart choice.
Oh my God, smart girl. But I really do think I probably worked with her because that's where we. There's a major. Oh, I lost
You
my
just threw your phone.
No, it fell. Talk.
Talk. So wait, what were you saying? You worked with them in the.
There were like 12 to 15 of
me.
us.
You're like, talk.
Yeah, there were like 12 to 15 of us that worked there, and they would hire every single one of us that worked through the door.
Because you're reliable?
We were reliable and didn't do drugs.
There you go.
So, and remember Brandon, who we always bring up?
Yeah.
Brandon went to the military. He posted that one time I got flagged in the military because they found out I was in a cult. Mm-hmm. He literally, they like sent him to a psychologist.
Oh my gosh.
He missed an actual day of training. And look, all A through F is marked out of reasons of why he needs evaluated. Mm-hmm. And it just simply says being in a religious cult. It's an army actual piece of paper.
Well, that sums it up. You don't need much else.
I thought it was funny.
That sums it up.
The army goes, you was in a cult, son? We need to evaluate you.
Yep.
Love you, Brandon. Now, this one is a chart that I found. It's a network visualizer. I can't really say the names, but it is the House of Yahoos in the middle, little man pointing at it, my pedophile father-in-law pointing at it, two women, and the elder that died, of what the dynamics are.
Oh, okay.
Some app I found of who's in charge in this place. Yeah, there's an Anaya and a Benaiah. Anaya and Benaiah.
Oh, okay.
They're kind of the same name, sort of. We're down to the end, aren't we? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. This comes from ex-member Shirley. I'd like to read this. She wrote and said, hey, I heard today that a few weeks ago, little man kind of went off during services. Started talking about Michelle Obama coming down the road that the cult's on. Not sure what else. All of a sudden, the lights went out, and when they came back up, he was no longer on stage. Nothing explained. Then the next week, the congregation were told that they were not to eat anything from Friday night until the next day, and they could only eat what was served from the cafeteria. That was the grasshoppers and shit.
Yeah.
Okay, that in itself is creepy.
So he was rambling. They turned the lights off to whisk him away.
Yeah. Again, we're in screenshots, and This is what it is. Remember the ex-child member saying she watched the video and he was panting?
Yeah.
He was out of breath. So I watched that last movie clip showing the parking lot with it. Oh, he claimed to be jogging. He was jogging before getting up on stage.
That's why he's out of breath.
Yeah. He was backstage pumping himself up to get on stage. God's player.
Oh my God. So he just decided that day he was going to start that?
Little man jogging, doesn't he have someone to do that for him? That was one of the ex-members. He has it's about time that windbag bit the dust. Most times I remember he looked like he was having a stroke anyway. So, little man appeared to be breathing hard when he first got on stage. One of the last times he spoke, you would think it's because he's old as shit. But apparently, according to him, it was because he was doing some jogging in place backstage to warm up for his sermon.
That's the best they could come up with.
Brandon says, duh, how dare you badmouth the last day's witness in Great White Buffalo.
Like, that's seriously the best they could come up with. He was jogging.
He was jogging backstage. Okay. So, I think I got through screenshots, everything else. I literally have sweat running down between my boobs right now.
This room is so damn
I
hot.
keep picking my hair up because it's wet on the back of my neck. Guys, write us for stickers. ex-members, if you live in the area or planning on visiting, private message me. I will send you shirts so you can give the middle finger in front of all of the billboards. Laura, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, and if you let us, we'll put your picture on the Facebook page.
Hell yeah. Even if you just want to hold the shirt up, you're an ex-member, and just give your fingers, even if you
whatever
don't live there.
the hell you want to do.
Yeah. Guys, be kind, be good. Kindness doesn't cost a damn thing. Late night drinking episode. Cheers.
Cheers.
Hey, wait a minute. You got to get your last.
Alrighty.
Okay. Clink.
Clink.
Virtual clink. Okay, let's drink. Ready?
All right.
All right, guys. It's been great. What?
This is it?
What's it?
We're done. No, we're done.
Yeah, well, you have to hit stop.
Are you going to say goodbye?
Well, I was going to say goodbye. Look at you. And
don't die on me.
I don't remember who it was, but they wrote to us. I sent you the screenshot, and they said that they just love drunk Laura. Remember I sent you that screenshot?
You did, yeah.
So whoever it was,
oh my God, hello.
Laura got the screenshot I sent her. Yeah. Anyway, guys, it's been Deb
and Laura,
and it was a drunken episode of I Got the Hell Out. Talk to you guys next week. Bye.